Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our first broadcast of The Right Talk. It's our first time, so we're just going to try to see if we can work out some of the bugs, but over the past couple of weeks during this pandemic, we continue to receive signs from many different mediums that maybe we need to get out here and get online and start talking to the public. So for those of you there, thanks for being here, and we're going to talk about some things that I think you might be interested in. And one of them is who do we trust? There's so many entities out there that are trying to give us information, tell us what to think. They're trying to form our reality and give us input on what's going out there. So who do we trust? Well, I think first one we think of is the mainstream media. But they've clearly proven that they can't be trusted. Over the past 4 or 5 years, ever since President Trump got on the scene, they've never had anything positive to say about him. Before he was a candidate, they liked him. After he's a candidate, all of the media, all of the Hollywood, the sports figures or whatever, they're all trying to push that Orange Man is bad. Well, those of you that have been paying attention know differently. And part of the reason for this video is to kind of help other people notice and see what else is out there and look past the media because, quite frankly, we are the news now. So the mainstream media, we know they lie to us. So at what point do you take what they say as fact? I mean, if they've lied to you in the past and they're continuing to try to form your opinion, anything anti-Trump, that's what they're trying to push, why would you even give them any time of day whatsoever? So you have the mainstream media. You have another source out there, Alex Jones. I'm not sure if I'm even supposed to say his name in the YouTube. However, he was banned from Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Apple. I mean, in the first couple of days, he was #1, just completely dominated all the other apps. And then they deplatformed him. And so you got to ask yourself, what is so... Well, first of all, I'm an avid listener of Alex Jones. And when they took him off and they started saying that he was dangerous, I wanted some proof on what was actually dangerous because I've been listening to him for years now and I have yet to find anything that would be dangerous. But he has allowed me to think outside the box and look beyond what everybody else is trying to look into. And he's discovered a lot of things out there that Americans should be concerned about. Perhaps those that deplatformed him have their own concerns. Maybe that they're being exposed. And I got a feeling that there's something there. I like him. I will continue to watch him. He's on 4 hours a day. He's not on any of those social media platforms because they're afraid of him. But you got to say again, why are they afraid of him? Why did they remove him? And you got to ask yourself, if they removed him, they're intimidated. What are they afraid of? This is free speech in this country. What are they afraid of? So then we go to the next one, Q. Yeah, you notice I put a Q in the title, and I have my little follow the white rabbit jumping out of the Q. So what's that all about? I've been following it for over 2 years, kind of since the beginning, and I've been just reading it, trying to get familiar with what's going on out there, and a lot of people attack Q. A lot of the media attacks Q. And they also attack the followers. I don't know what that's all about. They try to minimalize the followers and make them feel stupid or ignorant. And they claim that QAnon is, what do they claim? Well, let me tell you what I think QAnon is. It's a peaceful movement. It's an anonymous source, and we know that it could be made up of about 10 people closely to the president, mostly military intelligence, a couple civilians, made up about 10 or so people. But they put out information that is public. The media is not giving it to us, so they put out these crumbs, and then we go out and do our own research. And after doing this research for several years, you have a completely different awareness of the world. And for me, it's actually brought me closer to God. Is QAnon real? Is it a psychological operation? I don't know. But I do know this. It's a peaceful movement. And they've put me in touch with other things and other entities to get a better idea of our surroundings. My reality today is much different than it was several years ago before Q. Again, the media wasn't trying to give us that information. They were trying to keep it from us. So a lot of information from Q. I don't even know where to begin. And I'm not even sure I want to talk about Q all that much in this video. And if you have questions, feel free to send me some questions and we can talk about it then. I'd really like to have a dialogue with somebody. Maybe we get some callers. I prefer a call-in show where we can just talk. That's why it's called The Right Talk. And we're going to get there. Like I said, this is our first video. So the other one is the president. So many of those media folks claim that President Trump lies here and there and everywhere. I have been watching the Trump show since 2015. It's kind of interesting. Whenever Trump is on, everybody's watching. Everybody's watching. Whenever Trump is on, everybody's listening. And it's really obvious that the media, they scrutinize on things that the president says, and all they want to do is just cast some negative light, half-truths, push them as truths, and then a lot of the public believes it. I walk around, I talk to people out there, and I want to get a feel for what their understanding is of the current situation. So I'll throw some different things out there. Not many people believe the media. But what disappoints me the most is they still watch the media. I don't have cable. I stream. And I find what I want. I don't let some person I don't know program me. Push programs. I want to have a question. Let me search for it. Let me feed myself. I want to know what's going on. I'm going to find out. I'm not just going to sit there and wait to be shoveled nonsense by the mainstream media. And Hollywood too. Hollywood's part of it too. So where are we going to go from here? So much bad news being pushed. We have the pandemic. We have the stock market crash. Hey, it's been recovering quite nicely, and the president said it would, and I expect it'll continue to recover. We're going to have some ups and downs, but I think the big downs are over. Maybe. I don't know what to think about that, really. Since this is an election year, we didn't expect all this stuff to happen in the past several weeks. So is the market safe? It might not be. It might not be. But our economy is strong. Our economy is incredibly strong. So while we go through this pandemic, we've been pushed all these lies. No ventilators, panic. We need masks, panic. Toilet paper isn't available, panic. Death. People are dying. Here's another one. People are pushing this racial narrative, like minorities are more susceptible to it. And I guess that's, the virus is racist. I don't know. I'm so sick and tired of racism in this country. And we can attribute that to the media. They've pushed it. They thrive on it because they want division. You can see in the description of this video, they want us divided by race. They want us divided by religion. They want us to divided by class, by political affiliation. Because when we're going at it with each other, we're weak. But when we come together, we're strong. And so this particular pandemic where everything is shut down, no more sports, thank God for that. We don't need that distraction. Hollywood is going crazy because they don't have much attention on themselves. So we see them on TV with their no makeup and they just look terrible. Their audio is terrible. The video is terrible. My video here might even be better, but I've taken an effort to do so. Well, we're going to see. We're going to check it out later. I hope it's going all right. I don't even know if I have anybody in here. But anyway, while we're going through this pandemic, let me just kind of go and talk about some things that QAnon said. Like I said, it was a peaceful movement, and because of my understanding of QAnon, I feel safe. I feel comfortable. I don't question any of this. This is not another 4-year election, folks. And we realize that the enemy is out there. The enemy does not like whom I voted for, President Trump. The media doesn't like Trump. Hollywood doesn't like Trump. A lot of the NFL, a lot of the NBA, all these political and sports, all these elites, if you want to call them elite, they're not nauseating. They're anti-Trump. But they haven't given any information why, other than he's racist and xenophobic and whatever, all these ists and isms. And I have seen President Trump actually be more of a compassionate figure throughout all of this. He's not wanting to hurt anybody or harm anybody. He wants things to be equal and fair. We can talk about those situations later. So we talk about QAnon says that we are safe and promised that we and our families are safe. Also said that POTUS is safe, 100% insulated. He's protected. So we don't have to worry about that. And we watch on news every day that the president comes up and he reassures Americans and makes sure that we have the money and the resources that we need to get through this. This is unprecedented times. You would think that we would be concerned and worried. No, we're comfortable. We're safe. Where did I wrote down some things. So we're safe. We're all comfortable. And I think this gives us a time to reflect and prioritize some things in our life. Clear example here. I just constantly had this inner voice telling me that you need to get on this podcast. I've been wanting to do it for years. I just never did it. And you know, for the last week, I've had an excuse why I wasn't going to promote, why I wasn't going to do this video. I don't know what it is. So not even sure why I'm here. But if it's to be, you guys are the ones that'll keep me here, and I would appreciate that. Maggie says she would like some support from you guys too. Hey Maggie, that's enough. Thank you. So we can reflect and we can prioritize on this. I think it's an opportunity for a reset in a lot of ways. And while I'm thinking about it, one of the resets I think we're seeing is of the Federal Reserve. Now, the Federal Reserve, you would think that it's owned by the taxpayers. It's the United States. But actually, the Federal Reserve is a private corporation. And President Trump has been jumping over those guys for several years because during the previous administration, they kept interest rates lower. And then once Trump came on board, boy, they had more interest. They had more increases in the first year than Obama did in the last 8. And the President Trump was constantly harping on them. And eventually, they got it lower and lower. Now it's down to 0. So fantastic. But there's been a restructuring there. And what I understand is now with the national emergency and with the restructuring that the president has done, is I think that we merged that with the Treasury. So basically, President Trump is in charge of the Federal Reserve. That's the way I understand it. And that's a good thing because the Federal Reserve is not our friend. They've been kind of an enemy, charging us for our money. And I think we may end up going to the gold standard. And one of the things we talked about QAnon a little bit earlier, and as a avid Q follower, I've been through the drops several times. I've done my homework, and I still don't have a full grasp, but I have an understanding. And I was going to tell you something about Q. Well, so I had a good understanding of Q, and there was something I was going to go to, and I got distracted, but that's okay. I think we'll go ahead and, I don't know if we're going to recover. Who's going to want to see this? Oh, I wish I could remember what I was going to say. And if I had chat, you guys could remind me. So, Q has told us we're safe. Oh, what was it? What in the world? See, we can't have that happen. And that'd be the nice thing to have callers. Oh, we got a phone call. Hey, let's go ask this caller what they think about X, Y, and Z, and then we can discuss it. Not going to happen on this call. But we're going to do it again because this is our first Facebook Live. Kind of fun. I don't even know if we can see if anybody's chatting or viewing. We don't have any viewers, but that's okay. Okay. All right. So we've streamed for 15 minutes. We can probably do better next time. I was going to tell you something about Q. Darn it. Oh well, we'll have to come back and do it later. Hey guys, I think we're gonna see if this works, see how the sound and audio works, and we'll do a much better video next time. So until then, have a good day.